What is going on, everybody? My name is John Marrone, and I'm the CINC conversion specialist here with Commission CINC. Today, I'm going to deliver to you the tools and strategies that you need to increase your confidence to go ahead and create a higher conversion by becoming a conversation master. And we actually do this at our live event called Conversion Day. Now, Conversion Day has proven to work month in and month out. 5,000 agents, 3 years. Helping people get from contact to appointment set to 33%. That's right, 5,000 agents with live training, they've been able to take their conversion rate and increase it to 33%. Now, the reason why I preface so that it's a live training that's 6 hours is because what I'm going to deliver to you today will help increase your conversion, without a doubt. But there are so many components, so many pieces to the puzzle that really are the reason, right, and the key ingredients on why our conversion day works. So I'm going to give you a little piece of what it is that we do on our conversion day, but I'm also going to deliver to you the exact message I delivered to our mastermind group that we had in Cabo. And it's how to master your craft. How to master your craft is not just about going ahead and working on your skills for 10,000 hours. There's way more to it. And so I'm going to deliver that to you. So hopefully you can take your online buyer lead generation skills to the next level and start maximizing every lead that you have. So go ahead, get your pens and paper ready, and go ahead and get rid of all the distractions. That's the first thing I really ask, is that I'm going to spend the next 40 or 45 minutes or so with you. I want you to get rid of all the distractions. Put your phone away, get rid of all the other tabs, get your pen and paper handy, because you don't want to miss the one thing. And I don't know what that's going to be for you, but that could go ahead and take your business, your skill set, or your mindset to the next level to sustain and get to the success that you want. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can go ahead and see the presentation that I delivered to the mastermind group. Also, I broke down into mastering your craft so we could increase your confidence to help you become conversion and conversation masters. So the first step is always get comfortable being uncomfortable. You know, what we're going to go over here briefly today is showing you how to truly dig for the why. And not the first why, because the first why is always a lie, right? The first why is always a lie. Oh, okay, why would you like to move? I want to get closer to work. That is not a why. That's not enough pain or pleasure, which, by the way, is the only reason why humans make decisions, right? Pain or pleasure. So we got to go 3 whys deep for every what. And that could kind of get a little uncomfortable sometimes, right? Like that could get a little awkward at times if you don't do it properly. So when I say get comfortable being uncomfortable, I'm going to tell you possibly do some things you've never done before, or you know that maybe you should do, but you just haven't done it yet because you're a little bit uncomfortable with doing it. So get comfortable being uncomfortable is the first step. Let's bring down all the walls, everything that we've learned, and let's try to go ahead and be open to what we're about to dive into today so you can take your conversion and increase it like the 5,000 agents that have been through Conversion Day. So master your craft is this. M is for mindset, A is for accountability, S is for scripting and skills, T is for training, E is for energy, R is for rewards. Now, the training I'm delivering to you right now, whether you're a team lead, you're a single agent, your broker, everything here is going to relate to you in your business. Now, maybe you're saying, John, but I don't pick up the phone anymore. I just go ahead and I lead people to make dials. Well, I'm here to tell you, if you're leading people to make dials and holding them accountable to it, you should probably know the best way to do it as well. Right? Or maybe you're just like, hey, John, I just oversee everything. Well, now you could oversee that the team lead who's making sure that your agents are being held accountable, that they're being productive, they have the best process. And this, by far, is one of the most powerful and proven processes to increase that conversion and increase productivity. Not just busy work, but productivity. So we're going to go through it here quickly. So M is for mindset. What do you do weekly to rewire and reshift their mindset? And by there, I mean your employees, right? Your agents or your own. What are you doing weekly to reshift it, to rewire it? See, a lot of times what happens is we fail to go ahead and catch the negative thoughts that are coming through our minds, right? We fail to re-energize our day or our week Therefore, all the action we take is not optimal. It's not optimized. You can't be as effective, as efficient as you want to be if your mindset isn't where it needs to be. We take action off of our emotions, but our emotions are driven off of our thoughts. And a lot of times our thoughts are driven off the conversations we have with ourselves. So as you're probably sitting there watching this, you're like, okay, the most impactful conversation I could have is going to be with my clients to change their lives, to create income in my life. But the most impactful conversation that you could have is the one with yourself, right? It's the one with yourself. It's either going to empower you or disempower you, the conversation you're having. It's either going to encourage or discourage you. It's either going to bring you focus or distract you. It's either going to help you walk in fear and anxiety or faith and power. But it all starts with understanding that, okay, the conversations I have with myself lead to my thoughts, that lead then to my emotion, which then drives my action, which ultimately leads to my results. And so your mindset, you have to really, a lot of people giving you excuses. So your mindset has to override your skill set, because no matter how great you are with your skills, if there is something that is crippling your mindset, something that is fogging your mindset, you can't actually take the skill set that you have and truly use it to the capacity that you could. So what are you doing weekly? Are you intentional with it? Or are you, when you're quote unquote not motivated, when you actually start looking for some motivation to increase your mindset? Because motivation is very temporary, but it's what you do on a daily basis to rewire the mindset to create inspiration, right? That inspires you to implement. And I just want you guys to think about every single week, even every day, what are we doing to create a mindset of positivity, a mindset of not just positivity, but problem solvers, right? Solutions, a mindset of abundance, of adding value and making a difference, of impact over income, and getting people motivated and inspired to take action. Because inspired action versus motivated action, it's way different. It's way different. We want to create inspired action, because when they're inspired, when you're inspired, there is no telling what you can do. When you're motivated, there's not as much power behind that. So before we get on calls, it's what are we doing, right, to change our mindset? During the week, what are we doing? What are we doing on Sunday, on Monday, on Tuesday, every single day to just 5 minutes reshaping our mindset? So here's my action step. Before dialing sessions, watch something motivational, right? And have you or your agents make their goal visible. That's another thing. Like, your goals aren't visible, and what you focus on expands. Let me give you an example. Have you ever bought a new car? Let's think about that. I'm sure most of you have. What kind of car was it? Whatever kind of car. Maybe it was a Honda Civic. Maybe it was a Nissan Pathfinder. In the process of buying that car, did you see more or less of those cars on the road? More, right? So you saw more of those cars on the road. Was all of a sudden in your town there was more Nissan Pathfinders? There's more Honda Civics? No, there wasn't more all of a sudden. What happened is we have a reticular activating system. Okay. And what that means is that what we focus on, right, what we pay attention to up here, it actually comes into our life more often. And that's why I talk so heavily about, faith or fear. What are you walking in? If you're walking in fear, you're scared of what's going on right now, you're scared of the circumstances, you're going to attract more negativity, more things to be afraid of. But when you walk in faith, you attract that. And so for their goals, I want them to have it right in front of them. I want them to have their goals in front of them, whether it's 2 good conversations, whether it's an hour of calling, whether it's have 1 set appointment, whatever it is, have it in front of them, because you don't want it behind them. First of all, you want it in front of them. They want to see it all the time. And then next to that, why is it important to them? Why is it important? You want people to be more consistent, they got to find their why. I always say, without a strong why, your consistency will die. Write that down. Without a strong why, your consistency will die. Same with your agents. Why do they want to set one appointment today? And I'm a huge believer that our why should be something deep rooted, something that really drives us on such a deep level. But I also believe in what I call momentary whys. And a momentary why is, man, John, I just want to make $10,000 so I can pay for that trip to Bora Bora with my wife like I promised. Another one, so I was talking to somebody that's helping with their why. And they said, John, I found my why. You brought me through the process, but I'm ashamed to say what it is. Okay, why is that? And she had simply said, well, that's because I have a husband, I have kids, and I have a business, but my why is a horse. And she goes, I feel like a jerk. And I said, interesting. Well, like, what's so important about a horse? She's like, well, when I'm on it, I just feel free. I just feel relaxed. The stress just falls off my shoulders. Just feels so good. I said, interesting. Okay, then when you go home, you're done riding a horse, what happens? She's like, I'm not so mean to my husband. I'm not as snippy with my kids. I'm able to shut off work and able just to really engage with my family. I said, oh, okay. And how does that make you feel? She's like, amazing. Like I'm the best mother. Like I'm the best wife. Like it just makes you feel really, really good. And I said, okay, what about work? She's like, I can't be stopped. Like when I don't have that stress because I released it by riding a horse, I just feel so good. Or I get excited. I'm going to go ride the horse tonight that I just crushed through the day. I said, how does that make you feel? She's like, unstoppable. And I said, there it is. Your why can be something momentary. It could be a horse. Because that horse, all that did was, that was a vehicle, the driver to the emotion of unstoppable, joy, feeling like a great mother, like a great wife. So as much as I am a big believer in a deep why, I also think sometimes we just need something momentary, right? Because that big why sometimes can get frustrating when you feel like you're failing and you're not getting where you need to go, especially in real estate, right? 1,000 dials and you're not getting where you need to go as far as setting appointments. So let's just have a momentary why. Figure out what that looks like. Have it in front of them. That's step one. Mindset. Understand that it's super powerful. It's to me the number one thing before we even get into dialing. Now the next thing is going to be accountability. Are you holding them accountable to their why and their what? Their why and their what. And if you're watching this, you're a single agent, hold yourself accountable or find somebody, please, to hold you accountable because that usually works way better. But are you holding them accountable to their why or their what? Let me give you an example. If you tell me you want to make 100 dials, all right, and set 2 appointments today, that's great, but I need to know why. Well, because those 2 appointments will, in the end, bring me $8,000 and I could pay off $5,000 of the credit card debt I have. Why is that important? Because it's causing stress in my life and it's really hindering with my thought processes throughout the day. And it's really just bringing me into a negative light. Okay, cool. Boom. You make your dials and guess what? You didn't set 2 appointments. Now, as the person holding them accountable or you holding yourself accountable, it's not like, why do you set 2 appointments? Right? That's not the goal we're trying to go for. We're saying, hey, you said 2 appointments is going to help you pay off that credit card debt. That's going to release the stress out of you, right? And really create some lights that you've been walking in some darkness. Is that no longer the goal anymore? And they get to say, no, it is the goal. Okay, look, we failed today, but failure is just a process of elimination. What can you do differently tomorrow? But hear what I did there. I didn't say, hey, you said you're going to make 100 dials. Hey, you said you're going to make 100 dials. A lot of us hold people accountable to the what and not the why. Because if you keep saying the 100 dials, 2 appointments, that's not going to create that pain or pleasure. That's not going to strike the chord. That's not going to pull on the heartstring of, you said you wanted to be not as stressed because you're not able to enjoy the time with your family because of the $5,000 of credit card debt. And 2 appointments will get you the 5,000. And 100 dials will get you those 2 appointments. So either that's no longer the goal and that's no longer a priority for you, or it is and we failed today. Which one is it and what are we going to do differently? You have to hold them accountable or hold yourself accountable. Get really vulnerable, guys. If you're watching this and you're a single agent, get extremely vulnerable with yourself and ask somebody to hold you accountable. If you don't have a coach, if you don't have a mentor, if you don't have a team lead, find somebody that could just hold you accountable and tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So here's the action step. So if you're a leader out there and you have you're a team lead or whatever, set up one-on-one meetings, dig 3 levels deep to their why, and get permission to hold them accountable to it. Okay, because we have to have them and we have to have us as individuals. We have to drive off of emotion. So goes back to single agents, dig 3 levels deep for yourself of why it's important for you to hit these goals. Okay, and then ask somebody, hey, John, hey, Chris, hey, this person, this is my goal. It's because of this. Please revisit me every single day, every single week, whatever it might be, and see how I'm doing with it. Ask somebody to hold you accountable if you are not the person holding somebody accountable. Be vulnerable in a situation. Accountability only comes if vulnerability is welcomed, right? Like I cannot be held accountable if I'm not willing to be vulnerable. So that's a huge step in accountability. And as I said before, if you are coaching people, if you're the team lead, if you have agents under you, hold them accountable this way. If you are the agent, do this process yourself and then ask somebody to hold you accountable. Accountability is a huge piece to mastering your craft, because you know who the biggest liar is, right? Yourself. You're the biggest liar that you know. So you need to have somebody tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. Sign somebody up. Ask somebody. People will be willing, I promise. They want to see you succeed. The next is scripting and skill set. And this is where it gets fun. And this is where we could talk for hours on. Obviously, we do it at Conversion Day. But I'm going to dive pretty quick into what we see as being the best scripting in the industry. You know, I truly believe that this is the best in the industry. I'm going to pop it up here in the full screen because I don't know why I wasn't the whole time. So here, you're going to see 5 W's before you win the battle. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? A lot of us are going and picking up the phone without being in the proper state, the proper situation, the proper mindset, the proper everything. You're like, all right, I'm going to make dials today. But if you ask most champions in the world, boxers, professional sports, Grammy award winners, like all these people, Emmy award winners, they will tell you that the battle is won before it starts, right? In professional sports, the game is won in the locker room. The game is won in the locker room. So don't just pick up the phone and start dialing. Create the best situation for you to succeed. Are you right now creating the best situation for you to succeed? Are you? So if you're not, be vulnerable and let's change it. And here we go. This is how you change it. This is how you win the battle before it starts. First is W, what? Goals. I talked about that before. The goal's in front of you. You have to have a goal. So many of you are walking around not feeling success, yet you don't ask yourself on a daily basis, what does success look like today? You're not asking yourself on a daily basis of, okay, what does success look like today in all these areas of my life? But if you want clarity, you got to ask yourself what success looks like. So don't tell me that you want to make $100,000, but you don't even know what the goal is today. Every day you need to ask yourself, what does success look like today? What does success look like today? Then you put that down as your goals. The next thing is the why. We already talked about that. Have your why in front of you. Your why is so important, right? Your why should make you cry type of emotion. The next is where I get the most surprised when I ask this to the 5,000 agents who come through the Conversion Day. Do you have a sales journal? And most people don't even understand what that is. Let's talk about professional sports for a second. On Sunday, when the NFL plays, what do they do on Monday? They watch film, right? They watch film. When a boxer fights, what does he do the next week? He watches film. What does he do the week before? He watches film. What film are you watching to get better? What film are you watching to get better? Now, maybe you pool calls, which is great, but I would suggest very highly that you create a sales journal. And what the sales journal does, it gives you the opportunity to get better faster, So there's something called flow state. And we've all been in it at one point. And it goes something like this. Like you get on the phone, or maybe you're out playing sports, whatever it is, and you just can't be stopped, right? Like you get on the phone, let's just say, and objection thrown your way, boom, you crush it. Another objection, boom, you crush it. Another objection, boom, you crush it, boom, you crush it. Then you close it and you set the appointment. You feel good. Next week comes around. Same objection. You can't overcome it. Another objection, can't overcome it. You can't overcome it. But you're like, I did it last week. Well, when you're in flow state, what that simply means is you cut off the signals from the front and the back of your brain. Therefore, you stop thinking about what you're going to like ask next. It just happens, right? It just happens naturally, organically. But the coolest part about flow state is how you record it. One last example here. So I was in a band for a long time. Now, we weren't the best, but we made music. We made some a CD or two. And some of our best music came when we were just jamming out in the basement. And that goes for a lot of great songs that you've probably sung to before. It's just happened to be just jamming out. And if they never hit record, if we never hit record, we could have never duplicated that sound. How are you hitting record? And then how are you evaluating it? So you should have the sales journal and just a regular composition notebook, whatever. You can get fancy and just write down the things you did great on that call, the things you had trouble with. And then on Monday, you have a team huddle or whatever it is. All right, guys, let's open up our sales books. Hey, what objections are you really having a hard time overcoming? I'm having a hard time overcoming. I have an agent. And then this guy opens up and says, man, I've actually done so well at overcoming that. Here's what I've used and it's working awesome. All right, here it is. Boom. Now we have a scenario to role play. So now you role play. So this sales journal is extremely powerful to progress at a faster, accelerated rate than ever before. Get the sales journal, and then you guys go over it in your team meetings, whatever it might be, so that you can go ahead and create that progression faster. The next is wow, state and energy. If you're making phone calls, first off, sitting down, stop. Because in real estate, when you get kicked around, because you do, and you're calling for 2 hours, what happens to your posture? Now, you may start off dialing, but you get told no again and again and again and again and again and again. Your body starts to tilt, right? You start to lose your posture. Then all of a sudden, your feet start to cross, right? When you're sitting down, you do that, your feet start to cross. We all know that tonality is one of the key ingredients to success in sales. But if you're slouched over and making dials this way, and your feet are crossed, do you feel like your tonality can be maximized? Absolutely not. So stand up and make dials. And also find out what works for you before you get on the phone. Think about if you went into battle. Like if you're about to go to war, which to me, getting on the phone every single day, that's the way you got to look at it. So you're about to go to war. What would you do to hype yourself up, to amp yourself out? For me, it's just like listening to good music, dancing, and just woo, letting it rip, right? Just like having a good time and bringing up positive vibes and pushing away any kind of negative vibes. Maybe for you, it's praying. Maybe it's for you, it's just sitting in stillness and visualizing. Whatever it is, know you, write that down, know you in order to grow you. So know yourself. And if you don't know what it is, try a bunch and see what you feel better at doing. Like what feels authentic to you, what feels real to you. Just because I scream and dance doesn't mean you have to. But try it if you don't know. I was on stage with Tony Robbins and we did this whole state posture triad presentation. And it's seriously life, game, impact, income changing when you truly start to master this. So before your dials, figure out what it's like to get your energy up, because it's the person on call 101 with enthusiasm that wins, not person on call 1. And the difference is how you're getting in state, right? And how you're keeping it consistent for your call sessions. So find out what gets you into a peak state. That's going to increase your opportunity to amplify your tonality. And then go ahead and get on the call. And if you feel yourself coming down and you just having trouble keeping the positivity going, stop your call sessions, re-energize, right? Re-engage the way you get into state and get back on it. And then the next one is winning in confidence. And that's simple. If you aren't thinking about what you're going to say next, and you are truly masterful in your skill set, and you know that you could provide value, that creates confidence. And this script, which we're going to deliver here very shortly to you, is going to give you the understanding of how to create confidence. Right? How to create that confidence. A lot of you aren't getting on the phone because you don't have confidence. And if you give me two people, one with an immense amount of confidence, but like not the best skill set, or then you give me somebody with a great skill set, but for some reason they just don't have confidence, who's going to win? Give me the person with confidence every day, because they're going to win. Because your clients, they're like babies on the other end of the phone. They could feel when you're timid. They could feel when you're not confident. But confidence only comes through scripting and practicing, right? Over and over and over again. If you want to increase your pay, increase your role play, which I'll talk about here shortly. That's another thing. How many of you are role playing once a week? Twice a week? 3 times a week? 4 times a week? You need to be role playing on a daily basis. I'm going to leave you with that. Like, it's mind-boggling to me how if you want to become a legend, you want to create all this impact and this income, that you are not truly working on your skills. Well, I'll get into it in a second. So role play, right? Role play is huge, but role playing without the right script is almost useless. So here's the opening line. First is, we see a lot of people doing these things that we should stop. And mind you, talk about the war situation. A lot of stuff I give you guys, I think about it as this. If you and I were going into war, going in the battlefield, and there's a bomb I see, and I say, there's a bomb. Now, it may or may not blow up, right? It may be a live bomb. It might not be. There's a 50-50 chance. Will you step on that bomb? Oh, yeah, absolutely not. Are you not taking that chance? So everything I give you is basically the understanding that there's a 50-50 chance that this word, this phrase, doing this may blow up in your face. So let's not even take that chance, because this may be the only time you get them on the phone. So first thing is, get rid of how are you doing? How are you doing? If you ask that, there's a 50-50 chance it's going to be a negative. And honestly, it's probably like 70-30, with negative being 70. And so we want to get rid of that. I know it's hard. Now, this is a follow-up. You've spoken to them before. Different story. This is for a new lead, though. New lead. The second one is, don't introduce yourself in your company brokerage, right? Like, you can say your name is John, but not with your company brokerage. That's what I'm trying to get at. Reason being, if you said, hey, this is John with ABC Realty, and then they're like, had one bad experience with ABC Realty, what are they going to think? Hey, this is John with ABC Realty. Maybe they didn't have a bad experience, but their friend did. What are they going to think? Hey, this is John with ABC Realty. Okay, maybe they didn't have a bad experience. Maybe their friends didn't, but they saw a sign that they just did not like. They just didn't like the sign, the colors, the phrasing on it, whatever it might have been. Immediately, you're going to start off on the wrong foot. Or, hey, this is John with ABC Realty. Maybe you went ahead and listed one of their neighbor's house, and they just can't stand that neighbor. They're associating you with that neighbor. They're not going to want to work with you. So let's not step on that landmine. The next is, don't have a long introduction when you call. I'll show you the best introduction that we've seen really help get that 33% conversion rate. But the long introductions, which I'll talk about number 5, we got to get rid of that. The next is, and I hear this a lot, I saw you registered on my site. I saw you signed up on my site. How many times did they say, I didn't register for anything? I didn't sign up for anything. Right? A lot. Or what site? What? Or I can't believe you called me. Big brother, people get freaked out. Just eliminate it. There's no reason to utilize it. And the last one is, and this, remember, there's way more than this, but is there anything I can do to help you with? Or is there anything I can help you with? They don't think that you could help them, okay? They do not think you could help them. They think that you're a used car salesman. We all know it. It's just the truth. And unfortunately, you're trying to provide value to somebody that does not think you have value yet. So is there anything I can do to help you? Yeah, keep sending me stuff when I go see homes. I want you to open a door and show me the homes. That's what they're thinking. They don't think there's true value there, which we all know there's an immense amount of value. So what you need to do is you need to eliminate, is there anything I can do to help you? Because 86% of home buyers don't think that their agent understands their problem, and you haven't created enough value for them to think that you can help them. So eliminate it. So here is the best opening line that we have seen that actually works tremendous. Here's another thing. I think it's about 70% of our objections are coming from our opening lines. It may not come immediately, but because of the way you had your opening line, 3, 4, 5 minutes later, you're getting objections. All right, so here we go. Hey, this is John with the home search site. Key right there, home search site. They're on 1,000 sites, so home search site. I know you're looking over in Dallas at some homes, not houses, homes. Homes is for buyers, houses are for sellers, right? Different type of emotion. Just curious, you're looking to make a move in the next 3 to 6 months. I draw it out. Or you're just browsing. Why am I saying just browsing? Because we know that's what they're going to say. The best scripts are written when you know your partner's lines. We know our partner's lines, been doing this for way too long not to. So I'm saying 3 to 6 months are just browsing. And they're going to say, just browsing. Immediately their guard comes down. And then you can say, perfect. That's exactly what the site is for. So while I have you, what's prompting you to browse? Or while I have you, why are you browsing? Do it one more time. Hey, this is John with the home search site. I know you're looking over some homes in Dallas. Just curious. You looking to make a move in the next 3 to 6 months, or are you just browsing? I'm just browsing right now. Perfect tonality. It's exactly what the site is for. While I have you, what's prompting you to browse? And what's prompting you to browse? That little bit of nonchalant question, what's prompting you to browse, right? That nonchalant question keeps their guard down of like, okay, I can talk to this guy without feeling pressured. Then we go into 3 whys for every what. Find the pain or pleasure. Find it. Like I told you to do it with you. Do it with your client. This is a must. Don't get offended here, but we need to stop being glorified Applebee's servers. How many bedroom? 3. How many bath? 2. What area of town? Downtown. Want a yard? Yeah. Okay. Next. Like that has to stop. Especially what is going on, currently with real estate. We got to build such a strong rapport and let them know that we have a solution to their problem. But the only way to truly find out the solution is to figure out what their problem is. And the only way to do that is to ask better questions. Because write this down. Your quality of life is proportionate to the quality of questions you ask yourself. And your income is directly proportionate to the quality of questions you ask your prospects or your clients. So we got to ask better questions to get better results. And now maybe the guy still or the girl still wants to be a little bit of a jerk, be, a little bit, give us a hard time. And they still won't give us any like real feedback. They won't really answer our questions. We just ask a quick A/B question. You know what? Yeah, I'm just browsing. Perfect. Exactly what the site is for. While I have you, what's prompting you to browse? Oh no, man, I'm just looking right now. Okay, cool. Not a problem. So what are you thinking? Like a 3 or 4 bedroom? 4 bedrooms. Okay, interesting. And why is that important to you? Who what I just did? A/B question into a why question. Now, why questions don't always have to have the word why in it. Look down here. I have why questions that do not have the word why in it except one. Tell me about your current situation is a great question to ask. People love to talk about themselves, right? People love to explain what is going on. They just want a platform to do it. Now you're allowing them. And now when they start answering you about their current situation, this is where you find the pain, right? You got to truly listen to understand. Don't listen to respond. Listen to understand. Don't listen to respond. John, right now I'm just in a 2-bedroom condo, about to have another baby. I'm working from home. Things are just really stressful because it's just way too small here. Interesting. What else? That's another powerful question. There's another why question, and also I want to be able to have a yard for my kids so that we could play around with and, we could actually have barbecues and, enjoy life outside rather than cooped up in a condo or go and spend money at a restaurant. Awesome. And what would that mean for you, man, to get that? What just happened there? Like I asked 3 whys deep for every what. Stop jumping. If he says 4 bedrooms, stay there. If he says a bigger yard, stay there. Find out what it is. Okay, find out what it is that is truly motivating them to move. We started earlier, talked about your why. Their first why is always a lie. Oh, man, just trying to get into a bigger home. That's their why, John. No, it's not. It's way deeper than that. Because on the close that I'm about to give you, the pain or pleasure, the motivation, the true why is the right hook to go ahead and actually get them to commit to working with you. And I'm not pushy with this, guys. Like I use a lot of empathy because I care, right? And also no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. I use a lot of tonality because tonality increases engagement. Tonality spikes up curiosity. Tonality can truly bring energy into the call without like being crazy and loud. Like I'm like that anyway. So what tonality are you bringing to the table? When I ask, man, all right, tell me about your current situation. Oh, what else? What would that do for you? You know, silent pause, like those quick pauses, right? Being silent for a second. That really allows them to let the question marinate for a second. Sometimes we don't get an answer within the first like 1.3 seconds and we want to jump down our throat and ask another question. Just let it marinate for a second, right? Let it marinate for a second. So these are amazing why questions that don't necessarily say why. But 3 whys for every what is I think within the script itself, one if not the number one thing that we need to be working on is digging for that pain or pleasure and finding the why. And then a little side note, a little tip. If you're an agent, I want you to be writing down their true why in every single appointment that you set. If you're a leader, when you see their appointment set, look at it and say, okay, is this truly a why? So if I wrote, they're trying to move closer to work, and that's their why, right? Then you can come to me and be like, John, it's, you know, could you have dug a little bit deeper? Why is it important for him to go to work or to get into a location that's closer to work? What is he missing out on currently? What is he hoping to do when he gets the time back? All those are great questions that drive a much deeper rapport. And also, when you do 3 whys deep for every what, remember that like they're going to think that most agents are like that because they've been dodging every other agent. And they're going to basically like, I'm way too in too deep with this agent right now. And he finessed me with these questions. And I truly believe he knows my true problem and he has a solution for it. Right. So 3 whys for every what, guys. It's repeat, like practice that over and over and over and over and over and over again. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. At first it is, but then it's not. Like when I do this on conversion day, I've brought people to tears. I brought myself to tears numerous times because it is so powerful. Objection handling. I said it before, 86% of home buyers do not think you understand their problem. And so, you know, I'll just give you guys a quick few objections. Then you guys have any more, obviously just reach out and let me know. But objections, the way I look at it is that every time you call somebody, there's a fear, right? You have a fear and they have a fear. And that fear most people think is rejection. But it's what that rejection does. That rejection creates disappointment. So the biggest fear in a human is disappointment. One of the biggest, for sure. That rejection fear drives the fear of disappointment. Disappointment of, this is, you know, your client speaking. I'm not going to be able to get the house that I promised my wife that I want. I'm not going to be able to get the location that's best for my kids' schools. So I'm not going to do anything, right? They don't want to disappoint themselves or their family. So they're not going to do anything because they're scared of the commitment that can create disappointment. And then you, on the other hand, are calling them and you're scared too. And you have a fear of disappointment. Your fear is they're going to reject you and say no. And then you're going to be disappointed because you promised your wife this vacation that you don't have money for. You promised your husband that this career is going to work out, but now you have nothing to show for it. You promised your kids this or that, but yet you're not creating the income to do it. The disappointment of people telling you that real estate isn't, a real job, quote unquote, right? Like, crazy people say that. And if you do not set these appointments and close deals, and they're going to be right, and it's disappointing you and disappointing your family. So you guys are on the same level there. So with objections, realize that all it is a fear of disappointment coming through as an objection, coming through as an excuse. So you got to keep pushing through it. Stop giving up when they give you an objection. Stop. This is the only time you're going to talk to that person. That's the mindset you could have. How many times you talk to somebody and they said, oh, I'm not going to buy it for another 6 months. And then you talk to them 3 months later and they already bought with somebody else. Has that ever happened? All the time. Well, it's because that you weren't skilled enough and you didn't honestly care enough to push past their no and truly find out what it is that their problem is so you can create a solution. So maybe they say, I have an agent, right? I'm working with an agent right now. Okay, awesome, John. So you're working with an agent right now? Yep. All right, let me ask you this. If I were to find some off-market properties that match exactly what you're looking for, that aren't like on MLS yet or anything like that, because we have a whole list of them, do you want me to still send them to you? Well, yeah, for sure. Okay. I don't want to send you useless things because I'm sure you're getting tons of emails. What are you looking for? Is it 3 or 4 bedroom? 4. Okay, interesting. Why is that important to you? I'm going right back into it. Another one is, I'd like to use a listing agent, right? Buyer says they want to use a listing agent. Okay, so you want to use a listing agent? Yeah. Okay, absolutely. Let me ask you this. God forbid you had to go to court for something crazy, right? Murder, something nuts. Would you want to meet your lawyer the day of or prior? I want to meet him prior. Okay. Prospect, why is that important to you? Like, why you want to meet him prior? I want to figure out his strategy and everything like that. Absolutely. Okay. Now, let me ask you this. If you were to get divorced, right? God forbid, get divorced, would you want to use your wife or your husband's attorney? No. Why not? Well, because they're probably going to have their best interests at hand. Absolutely. And so what we found is that getting somebody that knows what you truly want and a strategy is going to make sense for you, and doing it from your corner, right? Fighting for you. We've seen people truly get better deals, right? Get homes for less money because you're right. The listing agent has their client's best interest at hand. And so what we actually saw is a 3% increase. And what I mean by that is that most people who go straight to the listing agent, they're paying 3% more on that home. Because like you said, client, their client, the person they're listing home for is their main priority. Does that make sense? Oh, no, that makes sense. All right, perfect. So we just want to show you our strategy, make sure that we're a good fit. And then we can go ahead and I'll reach out to the listing agent and negotiate the best deal for you. How's that sound? Sounds good. I love to use analogies, right? I love to use analogies. And the reason why I like to use them is because sometimes you got to make things so simple that it kind of feels awkward asking those questions. That it's a no-brainer. But something I did there that I just want to reiterate, in every objection, I restate the objection, let them know I hear them, and then I ask questions for them. I ask questions for them to tell me the answer. I don't just come in and tell them the answer. Write it down. The person doing the telling is the person doing the selling, which means you're going to be the one that's going to want to ask the question so they tell you, right? Person doing the telling is the person doing the selling. You need to get them to tell you. As stupid as it sounds, of why would you want to, meet the lawyer, prior? You know their answer to that. Well, but you got to ask that question. You need them to go ahead and tell you. Another thing I do, and this comes to the closing and tie down, to get the close, I say what I call the Sullivan nod verbally. So the Sullivan nod is like you went to a car dealership and they're like, okay, they slide the paper to you. So it's going to be $550 a month. And they're shaking their head up and down. And all of a sudden you're like shaking your head up and down. You have no idea how you're going to pay for it or anything, but you're in agreement. It's called the mirror neurons, right? Your mirror neurons in your brains mimic what's in front of you. And so how can we do that verbally and through the words and phrases like, does that make sense? Wouldn't you agree? Does that sound fair? That's a Sullivan nod verbally. And it gets them to say small yeses that compound into a big yes. All right, so objections, we can go all day with that, but we're obviously on a time restricted here. Probably about 15 minutes or so left. Then the next thing is the closing. So closing is not a technique. There are many, many techniques, but it's an attitude, and you build it through confidence, right? It's an attitude. Closing is an attitude. And if you build it, they will close. If you build it, they will close. Here is what we have found to be one of the best closes out there. Now, after everything, building great rapport, all the work you put in throughout the call, they still may say, you know what, John, I just want to wait. And I would just say, okay, John, let me ask you this. If I were to find you a home that fit everything you wanted, you know, got you your 4 bedrooms, 2 bath house for the right price, that also got you only a 10-minute ride to work so you can get back 10 hours in your week and you don't have to miss your daughter's recitals anymore. You can go ahead and eat breakfast with her and create those memories. Would you consider moving sooner? What did I do there? I answered location, right? I answered what they wanted, the what's. But the most powerful thing there is I introduced and brought back up and held them accountable to their whys. And it wasn't just, hey, if I can get you closer to work, would you consider moving sooner? That's not as strong. It wasn't just, hey, if I can get you closer to work, so you can go ahead and see your daughter's dance recitals. Still not as strong. Then I threw in and eat breakfast with your daughter. Still not strong, but getting way stronger. Then I said, and create those memories that you've been wanting to create. Would you consider moving sooner? How amplified is that motivation now? And when I say something, I don't go through it really fast. I say, if we can get you the 10 hours back in your week by getting you closer to work without the stress of driving all those hours, and get you time back with your daughter so you can see her recitals, give it a few seconds, let that pause, let that marinate, and get you to be able to eat breakfast with her on a regular basis. Let it pause, let it marinate, a quick second, and create those memories that you've really been wanting. Would you consider moving sooner? My tonality goes down, empathy goes up. This works, guys. This works so well, but it doesn't work without a true pain or pleasure. It's not going to work as well if you just say, so I can get you closer to work. It's not going to work as well if you just say, so I can get you 10 hours back in your week. You need to drive it home even more, and you got to, sorry to say, take the knife and dig right into the womb. You have to. It's your obligation to hold these people accountable to what they said they wanted. 86% of home buyers don't think you understand their problem. Their problem's not the 4 bedrooms. Their problem's not get closer to work. It's so deeper. They are missing their kids' recitals. They're missing making memories. But until you extract that from them, they're always going to think you don't understand their problem. And that's why most people don't reuse their agent. So that's the close that we see work extremely well. So scripting and skill set. Implement the script, it works. Simple as that. Implement the script, it works. 33% conversion rate from contact to appointment set. It's crucial. It is crucial to your success in real estate. It is crucial. The next is training. Training. We talked about before about role playing. And I am baffled with how people just don't master their craft. Some people say, John, role playing is awkward. Yep, it is. It's uncomfortable. Definitely. I don't have time. It's a lie. All these different things, but you don't become a champion. You don't become a legend without practicing. Name one Super Bowl team that didn't practice and won. Name one MLB team that won the World Series that didn't practice. Right? Name one champion in golf. Name one champion in a ring. Name one that did not practice, and perfect practice with the scripts that they need to use in the same mindset and the same thing. Practice like they're playing. Practice like they're actually playing. That won. You're not going to find anybody. So why do you think you're any different? Why do you think real estate's any different? Real estate is just like that. You have to create this practice, and not just practice makes perfect. It's perfect practice makes perfect, right? So you're telling me you want to make all this money, but you're not willing to role play 5 days a week for 15 minutes, then you truly don't want that money. You should be role playing minimum 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week. I would say 20 to 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And then you jump on calls. Like, what's your standard to have that you have for your skill mastery. What is your standard for your skill mastery? Because I don't know right now if you have the highest standard possible. And if you want higher results, if you want to raise your results, raise your standards. Raise your standards, you raise your results. It's that simple. You want to increase your pay? Increase your role play. When we do our conversion day, we break down into 30-minute role plays. Now, we created this board game. We created a board game called Crush the Call. And we get in there and we role play scenarios and we give awards out and everything. It's a great time, but we role play just opening lines. And then we do objections. And then we do closing. And we role play every single time after a quick session. Boom, session, role play, session, role play, session, role play. That is another key component to the 33%. That's another key ingredient to the success that we have with our conversion day. Real estate's no different than professional sports. Real estate's no different than actors, right? In the movie industry. You have to put in the work prior. You gotta practice. It doesn't matter if you have 10 people you're working with, 100 people you're working with. The crazy thing is I see a lot of people in real estate go through this income roller coaster. Maybe you feel that. Maybe you've seen that. And a lot of it comes down to this. You do great. You get 4 or 5 people you're working with. You're bringing them to the finish line, and then whoop, one falls through. Whoop, the other falls through. Whoop, the other falls through. And unfortunately, out of the 5 people, now only 2 of them are closing. And now you're like, oh my God, I got to go back. Now you got to go back. You got to start dialing again. You got to start mastering your craft again. And by that time, bills are piling up, right? Your own mortgage, your rent's piling up, your car payment. And now you're acting out of fear. So you need to continue doing the things that got you to your success during your success, right? If you're showing 5, 6, 7 people and walking them to the finish line, you better be role playing every day still. If you want those end results, you better be going ahead and dialing whatever the standard is for you dialing, 100 dials, 200 dials a day, whatever it is, every day. Find a way. Find a way not to stop the productivity that got you the results that you're about to get. Because if 1 or 2 or 3 of those fall off, like they have before, now what? Now you're scrambling and you're acting in fear. You're not acting in abundance. And you have commissions breath is what we call it, right? Where you're like just trying to close everything and you skip the processes that that actually work to get you there. Practice, practice. Make sure this one component is not ignored. Increase your pay, increase your role play. What is your standard you have for your skill mastery? You want to be a champion? You want to be a legend? You want to go ahead and create the income that creates an impact in your family, like you said? It's simple. Practice. Practice like you truly want it. And don't just practice like sitting down, making dials and doing your role play that way. However you would do it on a call is how you do it on a role play. You stand up, you get into state, you have your why in front of you, you do it exactly how you do it. Because in your mind, what fires wires? What fires wires? The more you do it right, the more it wires right. The more you do it wrong, when you get on the phone, the more that you're going to screw up on the phone. The more it fires wires. So fire off those skills, doing them right on a daily basis, and then get into your dials. So role play before every call session. Review the sales journal each week that we talked about. If you have the opportunity to pull calls, it's such a phenomenal tool. It really is. Pulling the calls of people that have done great and that did not do great. Just pull calls of everybody. And then get to conversion day. And the reason why I say get to conversion day is not like a self-promotion of, come to our conversion day, we'll change your life. I know it will. I've seen it. We've set, because we do an hour of live calls, which I don't think I really discussed that. So after we do the mindset rewiring, and then we do the scripting, we do role playing, we actually get into your platform and you call your leads live. So an hour, power hour. We have obviously challenges throughout it, which I'll talk about in the next slide. And I've seen people set 2, 3, 4, 5 appointments in a matter of an hour when before they couldn't set that the entire month. And I asked them, what are you going to do with that money? And they say they're going to pay for their daughter's wedding. They're going to take their family on their first vacation. They're going to pay off their student loans. They're going to do all these things with that money that's going to create experiences and create true, meaningful fulfillment in their life. and people change their lives through conversion day. And what I want to do right now is I want to just go ahead and show you a few testimonials of that. And yeah, this is only for people who are a part of CINC. If you're watching us right now and you're not a part of CINC, I know we have a few people that aren't. It's exclusive for CINC clients. And the reason being is because we're a big believer in our community and helping people get to the next level that are part of our CINC platform, as well as outside of it. But we just keep this exclusive for them. Gives them a little bit of competitive edge when they come into the marketplace. So take a few minutes here, and we're going to wrap up here very shortly, but I have some powerful things at the very end I want to show you as well. So take a look at these few testimonials, and we can go ahead and from there finish up our call here. But take a look at what some people are saying about Conversion Day and how it changed their life. My name is John Marrone, and I'm a business advisor with CINC. I've helped hundreds of brokerages and thousands of agents 10x their business through best practices on sales conversion. Conversion Day is a place for you to get comfortable getting uncomfortable. It's an absolutely safe environment to learn how to maximize every lead that comes across your system and increase your skills, confidence, and in the end, just increasing your ROI. We created a game because we understand that most agents, they don't love to role play. It can actually be awkward and uncomfortable sometimes. So the game allows you to really open up, have fun while role playing, stay completely engaged, which actually increases your focus, which helps you remember the key points of your script.
I'm really excited about the Power Hour because practice makes perfect, and if you're not perfect at this point in time, we can pick up the skills here at the CINC Conversion Day to be able to be perfect.
We then have Power Hour. It's an hour that you call your leads in your system. And this hour is incredible because we've seen people pay for their car, people pay for their dream home, their honeymoon, pay for that dream vacation, all within that 1 hour of calling. Last month, we had 120 people in the room and we hit almost $1 million in GCI. But why did it work? It worked because these best practices that we learned, we had repetition, deep practice. We learned opening lines, we role played it. We learned objection handling, we role played it. And we got super granular with this deep practice. And then we did live role playing and transferred right into the hour-long calls. This is why Power Hour works. Month in and month out, we see record-breaking numbers, not just in our facility, but in their own business.
I've gone to training before, and in the past it's been dry, A to B, B to C type thing. Here we were actually playing a game on how to best help our clients and guide them through it.
CINC Conversion Day is the industry's leading conversion course. You're going to be able to learn from what the highest producing agents in the country are doing, how they're saying it, when they're saying it, and then you could duplicate it and maximize your own ROI, surpass your own goals, create confidence and comfortability to pick up the phone daily to make the calls.
The best thing for me about Power Hour, I think, was being pushed to go through, to do the calls, and it worked out perfect. I've got several clients I'm going to be meeting and listing, buying, so it worked out perfect. It was great.
It's time to take the ceiling off your potential and get the best tips and tricks in scripting in the industry with CINC's Conversion Day. So those are just a few testimonials. As you can imagine, we have lots and lots of them from doing this for the last 3 years. And I want to dive right back into what we're discussing here. And the next part of mastering your craft is going to be energy, right? It's going to be energy. Energy is contagious. Energy also creates engagement. So is the environment conducive to the goals? What is your system to create proper energy for your team? Maybe right now you can't get in to an office setting. Are you creating it via Zoom? Are you having music in your house that's setting you up to bring up the positivity and create this positive momentum to ride it into your calls? So with the energy, it's so important that you keep it at a high level for productivity. So you got to ask yourself, is your environment conducive to your goals? Now, when we talked about this last time at my session during the mastermind, we talked about identifying what success looks like for your business model. So this is for anybody though, because your business model to me is anybody that's out there. You don't have to own the business because you're in real estate. This is like John Inc., right? This is like Chris Inc., whatever it is. Like this is your business. So you have to first identify what does success look like in your business, for energy, and then create how you're going to do that, right? Maybe balloons are going to be in here. Maybe it's certain music playing. Maybe it's certain scents that are in your room, whatever it is. Identify it and then create it. Call nights are super important. If you're not doing call nights, make sure you get with your team and create a call night. Call mornings are great too. On a Saturday morning, Sunday morning, whatever it might be, you're seeing a lot of productivity during those times. Call marathons they're life changing, but they're brutal. They're 6 hours of calling, and it's way easier to do that in house because you'd bring in like a massage therapist, you'd bring in the family for an hour, you'd bring in lunch. It's this whole event. But how can you create an environment that's conducive to your goals and your business's goals? So think about that. And it's going to be, the last one's going to be rewards. Are you keeping score? If we were to drive past 2 basketball courts, one basketball court is keeping score and one is not. Could you tell the difference? If you didn't know which one was which, could you tell the difference on which one was keeping score? Of course. Even those people who say that they're not competitive, like, you'll know. Nobody wants to lose. So are you keeping score? Are you keeping score to drive a competitive atmosphere into your business, into your world? If you're a single agent, are you reaching out to somebody and say, hey, bro, I got you. Today I'm doing 2 appointments. What about you? Whoever wins, you got to Venmo me $10, right? Like, are you doing that? You know what? Let's do it on a Zoom. You know what? Let's get 7 people. Everybody puts $10 into a pot. And then whoever gets the most set appointments, we got to be honest and truthful here though, right? Don't set fake appointments, gets the $70. 2 hours of dialing. Let's go. Is anybody doing that? If not, why not? If not, why not? Do it. It works. I promise you. Competitiveness and rewards drive up productivity and results. So your action step for rewards is trophies or belts for the top people. I love, trophies. Most of us do. I've seen people legit not care about the income as much as they care about the trophy that they get put on their desk. Last place duties. What I mean by that is we've done it before. You got to be right for your culture. But let's just say there's 10 of us. Person in last place has to do something that's not the best, right? Wash my car, maybe eat cat food. Who knows? The reason why is because, yes, people love to get first place, but also nobody likes to get last, especially when they have to do something that's not the greatest. The wheel of prizes, get like the spinner wheel and put prizes on there, tokens for prizes. So maybe each day you have a call challenge and you gain tokens, and then those tokens create some kind of prizes. I won't get too deep into the weeds on that. I talk about this a lot, about leadership being a lifestyle. And I think right now is such an important moment for you to become a leader internally first. Internally first. Ask yourself, are you doing the right things that align with your goals, or are you creating excuses? Leadership's a lifestyle. It's not a promotion. It's not something you put on your business card. It's a lifestyle, but are you treating it that way? Are you being a leader at home? Are you being a leader in your community? Those are huge things I'd look into, because if you are being a leader at home but not at work, that's not a true leader. You have to create this leadership lifestyle, and we got to finesse it, right? We got to work our way into it. We're not always just going to jump right into it. So that's okay. Leaders, what we do is we get better. And that's what I'm asking you. Are you getting better today than you were yesterday? And are you paying close attention to it? So I'm going to stop the share there. And before we wrap up here, I just want to tell everybody thank you so much for jumping on. But don't jump off just yet. Everything we went over today, it will excel your results. It'll create the income, the impact that you want. Every little piece, every little component of it. We have to fight off the negative thoughts that come into our mind. That's the first platform we got to stand on. That's why I put mindset so early into the mastering your craft, because sometimes we cannot, and most of the time, we cannot choose our circumstances, but we could choose the way that we look at them. We could choose our thoughts, and that will indirectly reshape your entire life. And if you are watching this right now and you're a part of Commissions Inc. and you want to come to our conversion day, we have them all across the country. What I'll do is I'll leave you here with a video showing you the entire thing, not the actual 8 hours, but showing you a quick 2 to 3 minute clip of what it is that we do here at CINC for our conversion day that drives up results. And the reason why I'm so passionate about conversion day is because I see the change and the light bulbs go off. I see the numbers for sure. Like, the numbers are great, but I know what that's going to do for everybody else. See, if we could change one person's life, that means we could change a lot more. And what I mean is, if I could change your life, let's just say, and CINC can change your life on conversion day, and you have a wife, you have a family, maybe not yet, but looking to get a husband, looking to get a wife, whatever it is, if we could change your life would then change theirs, or your employee's life. It's just this ripple effect. And when you change their life changes their family's life. And it's this beautiful ripple effect, but it starts and ends with you. It starts and ends with you. And if you're seriously committed to taking your life to a whole new level of fulfillment, of impact, of income, and you're willing to put in the work, conversion day is the best place to start, because with the best system that Commission CINC is, that's great. With the great leads that they get, that's great. But with both those things, without the proper training, it's very hard to truly maximize it. Now, you could do it, but if you want to go ahead and get 10x the return, then go ahead and join us on one of our conversion days. Coming to a city near you. We also have calls too. We have conversion calls bi-weekly on Mondays. But if you're truly ready to take the next step into your business, into your life, and into taking control and doing whatever it takes to go ahead and bring the impact into your world, then go ahead, watch this next video and see what we do at conversion day.
Is I want you guys to live by this. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. But I always ask them, if you all agree with this, we can take the next step. If not, it's not going to work, because the leads will always suck if you suck. My name is John Marrone. I'm a business advisor here with CINC. And what we do, we've actually brought 4,000 students, agents through this course, and our conversion from contact to appointment set is 33%. A lot of it has to do with getting comfortable being uncomfortable and role playing with our customized CINC only exclusive game board, and they're actually playing it right now. So come on in and let's go check it out.
Can you tell me more about the
And this is going to be the last conversion day in Atlanta, but hold on, because it's not the last conversion day ever. We're actually coming on the road, right? We're coming on the road with CINC live events, hitting up 11 cities and taking this conversion day that's helped 4,000 agents increase their conversion from contact to appointment set to 33%.
All right, there you have it. I hope that you come join us at conversion day, but really want to speak in gratitude right now to every single person that took the time out to watch this, to write down their notes, and then to those who will actually implement on the information. I appreciate the time. I appreciate the focus. And I appreciate you taking responsibility and ownership for your results by jumping on this. Now it's all about implementation of the information and going ahead and putting in the work and going ahead and being better today than you were yesterday. If you need me for anything, you can go ahead, john.marrone, M-A-R-R-O-N-E, at cincpro.com, john.marrone at cincpro.com. If you have any questions on conversion, you have any question on conversion day, you have any questions about mindset, like whatever it might be that could help you overcome an obstacle, that can help you find an opportunity within an obstacle, email me, john.marrone at cincpro.com. I'd love to help you out, add value to you. And truly, though, if you are looking to bring your lead conversion to another level and maximize the leads that you have with Commission CINC, come to a conversion day, whatever one works for you. Don't wait till next year. There's something called the law of diminishing intent. And that is, the longer you wait to do something, the less likely you are to do it. We all have become victims of that in many different areas of our life. So it could be from doing the dishes to doing the laundry to going to the gym to maximizing your Commission CINC system. But it's up to you. Remember, it starts and ends with you. And hopefully you got value out of today. And I really hope to see you at a conversion day. But if not, if I don't see you, if I don't hear from you, keep creating the ultimate version of you